Oh,
Ooh.
In fact, we should be live right now.
I'm refreshing.
It's working. It's working. I'm gonna tweet this out.
All right. Post.
Put that on the old Discord. Testing audio. Testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
hello.
Hi, everybody.
Audio should be fine. Levels look good to me. All right.
That's how we do it.
That's how we do it. Oh, I gotta restart the game footage. Do that quick. Before we get started. Don't mind us, folks. There we go. Okay. Let's get this show on the road. Welcome, everyone, to Follow My Tracers, episode 21. Live on YouTube. 21. I'm Tony. I'm Figure 9. I got Harley, and I got Power Grudge here with me, aka Jim. Gentlemen, it's Friday. We made it.
I know. It's been
Another
a long week,
week.
man.
Yeah, another week. It's been a long week for sure. Man, work was busy this week. I don't know what it was. Work was busy. Jim, how was your week?
It was all right. It was really busy. Today was kind of a crappy day at work, but it's much better since about 3:00. So other than that, man, not too bad. Harley, how's your day been? Like, in all honesty, how's your day been? How's your week been?
My
Good?
week?
Yeah, you have a busy week.
Yeah, a little bit. I don't know. Today I've just been like really tired. I just feel like drained, and I just feel happy that it's Friday.
Yeah, I'm in that boat too, man. Super drained from work today.
Amen. Happy that it's Friday. Well, boys, I haven't actually played that many video games this week aside from what I've done on stream. I guess I'll start. I've played the new season of MCC. I played a little bit of that the other night. Season 6. There's some really cool armors in this season. Do you guys remember this is somewhat new, but there was a Halo arcade game that came out, and if you go to like the arcades, there was this big Halo thing that you could play. Fireteam Raven is what it's called.
Sounds kind of familiar.
Yeah, it's only at Dave and Buster's, if I can remember correctly. I think that's all where it is, and I have seen it. Like I played it in Canada once. It's pretty fun. But you basically play as ODSTs, and you know, like a typical arcade game, you have a gun, right, and you're shooting things on the screen. That's the idea. But like Master Chief is around you, like you're just like this squad of Marines following Master Chief, kind of. It's really cool. And in Season 6, the season name is Raven. So all the armors from that arcade game, you can actually get in the game for Halo 3 now, which is really cool. And they look like really cool like ODST variants of armors. So actually cool stuff. They have some back bling on there now, so you can get like a hammer you can put on your back, and like you can have a katana on your back at all times now if you want. You can do some crazy stuff. There's dynamic visors. You can see them starting to toy with cosmetics, right? And you just wonder what's happening with Infinite. But overall, it seems like a good season. It's one that I actually want to like go all the way through. And the best part about it is that the battle pass is like free, right? There's no cost to it, so you just you go through it at your own pace. There's no microtransactions. You're good to go. So that's what I've been playing. Other than that, I started my campaign playthrough of Halo on stream. So I've vowed to stream that I'm going to play through every single Halo game, minus Halo Wars 1. I'm still debating Halo Wars 2, because I just really want to replay Halo Wars 2 anyways. So last night we rewatched all of the Halo Wars 1's cutscenes. I filled everyone in on what was happening with the story, and then we started with Halo Reach, got through a few missions there. It's basically all I've played. Jim, what about you, man? What have you been doing?
So for anybody watching live on YouTube, what you're watching is pretty much the only thing I've really been playing this week is Diablo 3. So for you guys know me very well, but for those who don't, Diablo series is very near and dear to my heart. Diablo 2 is my favorite game of all time, obviously, which we'll talk about later on. But I never really gave Diablo 3 a chance all the way through, so I've kind of made it my mission. I'll say for the next month, because I don't know how long it's going to take. It probably won't take that long, but for the next month to get through Diablo 3, maybe once, maybe twice. I don't know. We'll see. I want to play it through more than just one character, as I did with the other ones. But that's the only thing I've really been playing, and I'm really enjoying it. And when we talk about Diablo 2, I'll kind of go more into, what things I'm kind of realizing about Diablo 3. But that's pretty well it. I want a new map, so I'm kind of trying to play other battle royales to keep like Verdansk kind of feeling fresh. I started playing Blackout again. I played like 3 or 4 solo rounds this week. Man, Blackout had a really good map. It's nice having a lot of variety. There's a lot of color to it, which is really nice. And I don't know, I miss it. I kind of like the idea of picking up attachments again. I know when we first played Warzone, it was nice not having to pick up attachments, but I think that's kind of cool. I mean, there's a lot of mix and matching you can do in the good and a bad way. Oh, someone Dom says no more sound
Um,
in the chat.
I think it should be okay
know.
now.
Okay.
You did cut out
yeah,
for a little bit there.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I've just been doing that pretty much, just playing Diablo and played some Blackout. Nice bringing back some memories with that. I missed the map, but whatever. What about you, Harley? What have you been playing?
Just been playing a lot of Valheim and some League of Legends. Yeah.
There you go.
I've been tempted to start playing League. I've been tempted.
Yeah, I don't play. For those people who know League of Legends, I don't play like the normal mode, like the 5v5 3 lane.
Oh, okay.
I play the 5v5 1 lane, where you get random champions. Everyone gets random champions. I like that.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's
Cool.
like it's one small lane, and everyone gets a random champion in like the pre-lobby, and you get some, like, sometimes you can re-roll. Like, oh, I don't want to play this champion. You can do a re-roll and get another random champion, and then it kind of goes into like a pool of available champions. So say us three played, you didn't like who you played and you re-rolled. I like who you played. You could like switch. You can switch with people, and you can switch out of the available pool. So like if you do a bunch of re-rolls, like you have a big pool, and then you can kind of make your comp. Yeah, but I just been playing that,
cool.
really.
Nice.
Games can be like, like 15 minutes. They don't usually go over in like 40 minutes. So I like it because it's just like really quick. If I just want something quick to play, I usually just do that.
Nice.
That sounds like fun.
It's more chill too.
Yeah. Fox in chat says my boss doesn't let us use the word busy anymore. The hell? Excuse me. What? Also, yes, Halo Reach Heart, of course. Halo Reach, incredible game. It's so loud outside right now. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to close the window, guys. There's like a billion motorcycles going by. No, motorcycles. I don't even know.
Oh.
Either that or or 1995 Honda Civics, and kids think they're cool in them. I don't know, but I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Lockdown.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, man.
Yeah, no gaff.
But
I'm not hearing it on my headphones anyway.
Okay, well, that's good. I'm seeing the
Yeah,
microphone thing jump
it.
up every now and then when they go by, so I'm just kind of worried. I might go close that after in a little bit, but so a reminder for everyone here on YouTube that we are live, so you can talk and chat just like Fox and Dom have done, and we're gonna respond to you, for better or for worse, as well. If you are not watching us live, that's okay. You can leave a comment, and we'll get you in the next episode. Now, fellas, let's get on to the G Fuel flavor of the day. Not sponsored, soon to be sponsored. And soon is a very wide range of time, which is why I say soon. Coming at some point in the future. I'm having some watermelon. Have you guys had any G Fuel? Have you guys had any G Fuel today? Sorry, Jim. Have you had any G Fuel today?
Yeah, when I got home from work, I had some sour blue chug rug. It's one I haven't had in a while, but it's one of those flavors. It's kind of I'm kind of like relating it to sour gummy fish, right? Or not sour gummy fish, sorry, raging gummy fish, where
Yeah.
it used to be like a top tier flavor, but now it's just like it's not a super top tier for me anymore. But it's so reliable and it's so comfortable too that I never get sick of it. What about you, Harley?
Um, I'm on my second serving. As I said, I'm pretty tired. Been pretty tired today, so second serving. My first serving was PewDiePie's lingonberry, but
Ooh,
right now I'm having some Wumpa fruit.
still so jealous. I have not tried Wumpa fruit yet.
Pretty good.
Insanely jealous.
I always forget how many flavors you guys have. I like rotate over the like a couple, and then you guys are like every week. I'm like, oh yeah, you forgot you had that one.
I
I'm
wish
jealous.
I wish I had like the income for what was it? Spring buy one get one.
Yeah, there was a
I wanted
BOGO.
that sour shamrock.
Yeah, sour apple, sour green apple.
Sour green apple.
Yeah,
I almost went for it. I almost went for it, and I
I
thought,
think it
no,
was.
I better not.
It
Man.
might have. Is it still on the store? Because I thought it
I think
said
it still is.
exclusive on it.
I think it still is.
Okay.
But to be honest, I haven't
Maybe
been on the G
someday.
Fuel store in a little bit. I did get an email from
Me
G Fuel
neither.
saying, and the title was
I
"We
don't
miss
want to
you,"
look.
and I was like, "I miss you too, G Fuel, but I can't afford you right now."
They
So
go, hey, you haven't bought any G Fuel in like a while.
yeah, I feel like they're like my
You
drug
want to get
dealer,
sponsored?
and they're like, "Hey man, like, do you need some more? Like, it's been a while." Like, I do want to get sponsored. Or rather, I should say, we want to get sponsored. But
Or
let's
both.
or both Figure 9 and Follow My Tracers. A little double trouble,
Hey, we can double dip.
double dip. I like it. All right. Let's get into the news, and by the news, I mean Halo Infinite news, because we do have some Halo Infinite news this week, and it might not be what you're thinking. This was kind of I haven't seen this reported anywhere else. This might be an exclusive, guys. I might be the first person to say this.
Ooh.
So let's get into it. Well, that came out of the wrong speaker. 1 second. You probably heard that a little bit. We're live. Okay, let's do it again.
I didn't.
And there's a motorcycle going by. What
You're
the
good.
hell? What the hell's with these I'm muting the mic as they go by because it's ridiculous. So, today, or rather I should say late last night, or was it early this morning? I forget. I got an email as a part of the Halo Insider program. I'm in the Insider program for Halo, meaning that when a new flight for the Master Chief Collection comes out, I basically get invited to test it out before everyone else. That kind of stuff. And to be clear, it wasn't about Halo Infinite. This was all about MCC. They were like, hey, Season 6 just came out. Here's some stuff we're planning in the future. Make sure your account's all updated, stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, cool. And I just scroll to the very bottom of the email. And I read this very, very, very interesting disclaimer that absolutely has to do with Halo Infinite. So, again, I haven't seen this reported anywhere else. I don't know if anyone else caught on this. Quote, over the next 3 weeks, you're going to be seeing an increased frequency of emails from us. Full disclosure, we're hard at work preparing a new email system for when Halo Infinite arrives. And this is a part of the process. We're going to hold up our end of the bargain, of course. I'm going to say that again. We're going to hold up our end of the bargain, of course. And we're doing our best to make these emails as useful as possible. Thank you for your time, and thank you for being a Halo insider. Seems pretty innocent at first, right? They're basically just saying, "Hey, we're gonna blast some emails out in the next few weeks." But why would they be blasting emails out in the next few weeks?
Beta?
I don't know.
Maybe they'll give us a release date. Maybe they'll say Halo 5's coming to the MCC. I don't know.
I don't know
What?
if they'll ever
Honestly,
do
God,
that.
man. Or it's coming to PC. I don't know. I think anything's possible, but I think, yeah, in my heart and in my soul, with peace and love, I'm gonna say it's probably has to do with the beta. Maybe like you insiders will get like first access to the beta before anyone else does.
Well, then that's exactly what's going to happen. They already said that to be part of it, sign up for Insider. So
Ooh. I think I
that's
am actually.
yeah. You can
I'll
sign up on their website. I think if you just search up like sign up for Halo Insider or something like that, you can find it. It's right on their website. But and of course, like right, this is coming from the Halo Insider email, so it has to do with their inside flighting. New bunch of emails coming in the next few weeks. I say conservatively, what this could mean is at the very least, at the very earliest, they're just getting the infrastructure set up for a beta, which means it's soon. And at best, the beta is going to happen sometimes in the next 3 weeks. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's somewhere in the middle. I think there might be a sign up sometime in the next 3 weeks where they're going to say, hey, we're going to do a flight of the Halo Infinite beta, May, June, something like that. Sign up now. That's what I think is going to happen, which is exciting.
So that's you know what? Even though it's just like an email disclaimer, that's some pretty significant. Like that's significant enough where I don't think people realize it. I think that's pretty cool.
I haven't seen anyone else talk about it. It's crazy.
That's pretty. Nobody ever scrolls down to the bottom of an email, though. Really.
When it's Halo, I do. Oh man. Yeah, so that's my Infinite news for the week. Is that we might get some news in the next few weeks about signing up for the beta. Or as they like to call it, they don't actually call it a beta. They call it insider flighting. So see what happens in the next few weeks. Now let's get to the rest of the news. I do have the exclusive hookup for Halo. It's true. Let's talk about something that we talked about last week. And that was MLB The Show 21 coming to Game Pass. And we were speculating maybe why this could happen. And Jim, you got some news on that, right?
Exactly. So essentially, we weren't like 100%. No one was really sure last week why we were getting the show. It might have been Sony wanting to expand their sales of their IP. It might have been Xbox begging. We don't know. I can't remember what we said last week, but essentially it was neither. It was the MLB. So this quote comes from a PlayStation representative, and they said, as part of the goal, so quote, as part of the goal for this year's game, MLB decided to bring the franchise to more players and baseball fans. This decision provides a unique opportunity to further establish the MLB The Show as the premier brand for baseball video games, end quote. That's kind of cool. It wasn't even like now I might be wrong here, but do the sports companies have a lot of decision making pull when it comes to what platforms come or what games come to what platforms? Because I can't remember. RBI Baseball is just on Xbox, right?
Honestly, I have no idea where RBI Baseball goes. I just know it's on Xbox. That's it.
So I think it's kind of cool that they're behind why we're getting it. It's not even like, Sony wanting to, crush the console wars or, we're partnering with our competition because we want to expand our stuff. It's the MLB saying like, essentially, we want to sell as many copies as possible. So why not give it to this other system? And I think it'll sell pretty well because it's like we've never had the show and there's a lot of baseball fans who own Xboxes, right? So why play RBI Baseball? No offense, I don't know much about RBI Baseball, but I know the show gets better reviews than those games. So like why not have like what people consider the cream of the crop on a different system?
Yeah, and MLB The Show is considered usually the best sports video game that comes out every single year. Like out of NHL, Madden, NBA, and if you throw in racing games in the mix, maybe not better than some racing games, but overall, like these are like 9 out of 10 games a lot of the times, right? Like they're very, very high quality.
Yeah.
And this is kind of interesting because this kind of blends my two worlds of sports and working in sports and video games, and it's totally interesting. And what do you guys think the aim for MLB here is to sell? First to sell the show on Xbox, but also to put it on Game Pass. What's the goal? What do you think, Jim?
I think essentially what the MLB told Xbox was.
Call the judge. Get some fudge.
So, no, in reality though, for those of you listening, yes, we have soundboards now, or I have a soundboard anyway. But yeah, I think it's just, I don't know, like PlayStation do sell a lot of units, let's say, and then
tons.
people.
Yeah.
So like, why not just try to get even more sales? Because like I said, Xbox fans, we never had a show game on Xbox before. And I know from speaking from my own perspective, my brother, when we were growing up, we had 360s. And when PlayStation 3 was getting the show, he would play it at friends' houses and just say how awesome it is. Because he was a big sports fan guy back then. Still to an extent now, but now it would be his chance to play it. So, I mean, people that have been wanting it for years, it's a good chance to be able to sell it to them.
Yep.
So
Okay.
I think it's just money, but no, it is like, even in their statement, it is cool that they want to, provide it for as much people or as many people as possible. I mean, why not? Like this in my head, and I know it's an exclusivity thing and there's money behind these exclusivity deals, but I think this whole, like, especially with sports games, what's the point of even having like exclusives? Because sports is like such like a broad interest, and it's such like a big interest in gaming. I mean, we get Maddens and FIFAs and NHLs every year through EA. Like, why not have this other franchise that is like known for doing baseball really well? Have them be like the new baseball game, because there's no EA MLB 2K11 or whatever, right? So this is the chance to kind of establish that, and then maybe every year this can be like the new like EA sports game that's not EA. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And it's important. It's important to recognize that the reason why this is different, guys, is because it's developed by Sony, a first-party Sony studio, right? It's not EA. It's not some third-party studio that makes other games. They are literally, it's the equivalent to 343. It's the equivalent to the Coalition. It's the equivalent to, all these Xbox studios that are first party, right? And that's what makes it weird and different, is that somehow Sony locked up exclusivity on the show, and they've made it so good over the years that, it is the premier sports franchise. But Harley, do you have any thoughts on why this is kind of happening, why they're doing this?
No, I think Jim pretty much got it.
Well, I'm about to blow your fucking minds. I'm about to blow your fucking minds. Are you guys ready?
No.
Okay, well, too bad.
Okay, now I'm ready.
All right. MLB doesn't give a shit about selling video games. They don't care. What's the goal of a sports video game, guys?
To play sports.
Play sports, sure.
Oh, is it to spread like awareness?
Yes, now you're getting it. Yeah, exactly. All they care about is more people getting involved with baseball, especially the younger generation, because baseball's kind of dying a little bit. So, why they're doing this, one,
you know more than me about this, so
yeah, totally. Like, and that's just because it's kind of my two worlds combining here. But basically, like, this is all the MLB wants to do here is to get baseball into as many hands as possible. Yeah, baseball cards, that's a part of it too, right? And that certainly helps this whole card thing. But, like, I don't know, like, the reason why they're doing this is just to get more people interested in baseball. So maybe, you play the show and you really like it. All of a sudden, you start to follow your local team a little bit. You buy some merch, you buy some tickets, you buy some season tickets down the line. You have kids, you get the kids involved. The kids start playing baseball. It's a huge long-term play. That's the whole goal of this. They don't care how many copies of the video game they sell. Of course, they want to sell a lot of copies and make money on it, but that's not the goal. The goal is to increase participation, awareness, and engagement in baseball in general. That's the goal.
Which also increases money.
Exactly. It's narrow-minded to look at video games for sports as just a, they make the
Money
NHL
grab.
video game every year just because it'll make money. No, they to a degree, yes, but they also do it because it gets more people talking about hockey, and this gets more people talking about baseball. And the MLB basically went to Sony off of this story, and they were like, hey, you need to put this game on other platforms, or we're just going to take the license away from you.
Mm-hmm.
And then Sony was like, well, okay,
smart.
shit, okay, sure, And ultimately, it's good for Sony, too, because they're getting a cut of every game sold on Xbox, too. They're making money on this,
Oh, yeah. It's interesting that it's on Game Pass, too.
That's the kicker.
So it's like, we have Game Pass. It's like, it's really going to spread the influence.
And that's the play, right? Like, imagine this is Xbox going to MLB way over Sony's head, and they're just going, "Hey, you really want to expand how many people can play your game? We have 20 million people on Game Pass right now, and you can put it on there, and 20 million people can play your game day one. And guaranteed, the show sells really well, but it doesn't sell 20 million copies. It doesn't have that kind of reach."
Just reading.
Kleist.
Just reading the thank you, Supperfish.
Kleist is the best in the biz. My God.
Yeah, but that's hockey.
Yeah, different sport there, bud.
Come on. He can do it all. Who are we kidding? He can do it all.
He can do
you're
it
right.
all. He can do it all.
He's in everything.
Oh, man. Listen. Okay. He doesn't look like... Sidney Crosby does not look like him, okay? He does not.
We didn't say it.
Hey, your words, not ours, all right?
No, it was literally your words first. All right?
But see, we dropped it. You keep talking about it, so you must think it a little bit.
I literally didn't say it. You guys said it.
Oh, he knows it's hockey, but he knows the power.
Knows the power. Okay.
But it's not.
You fuckers. You fuckers.
It was a goof.
It was a
It was a
goof.
goof.
It was a goof.
I can feel us physically getting under your skin with this, and I love it.
Yeah, you definitely are.
It's like Kingdom of Hearts.
Kingdom Hearts, not Kingdom of
Kingdom of
Hearts. First.
Sorry, the names still confused me.
What are
Listen.
you talking about? It's called. Oh,
What a train wreck of an episode already. I love it. I love it. This is what I do the podcast
it just goes
for.
up.
It just goes up from here. That's right.
I mean, we're already high up. We're just gonna go higher.
Exactly. We're getting lit on the podcast
Hey,
tonight.
we can only get up from rock bottom, so here we go.
No, we're in the clouds right now.
We're going to space.
Yeah, we need to go to the moon,
To the moon.
just like that Tesla.
All right, Superficial Chat is getting weird. We're inside you. Excuse me.
I think what he meant to say was,
Are you winning, son?
I have to spend a day and just get a bunch of stuff for this soundboard. Thank you, Paper Fox. We are peak comedy.
Your love.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
Let's
Okay.
move on.
All right. It's all coming together. It's all coming together.
What was the news again?
Okay, I'll close off the story. Okay,
MLB show.
MLB The Show is on Game Pass. It's coming to Xbox because MLB wants to get baseball in as many hands as possible. That's why this deal is happening. That's what's going on.
They care about the people.
They care about the people, and most importantly, you're gonna have to get that
But
clip
not
of
the money.
you're gonna have to get the clip, Jim, of Mr. Krabs going like "Money, me boy," like that one.
Oh man,
You'll have
I
to-
have a lot of work to do with
so
this
many
sound.
SpongeBob clips
Yeah,
actually.
so
Oh my god,
much work.
who are you calling Pinhead?
I'll have to do a new sound clip to introduce myself every week.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we gotta. I remember there's a delay.
Oh, there is a delay.
Wait, minutes?
Is
Like,
that
30
is that
seconds, I think.
controllable?
There
That's probably
shouldn't
controllable.
be minutes. It should be about 30 seconds. It should be about 30 seconds. We're gonna have to test that out.
Way to go, Supper. Way to go.
I think
Way to
Supperfist is
go,
just
making
behind
our stream good,
in general,
making it that much better. Thank you,
Wow.
thank you to all those in the chat.
Yeah, thanks everybody watching.
That was a good Patrick. Oh man, you have no idea. we stand Patrick in this group. I saw this really stupid clip. I should have saved it. It was some guy. He was laying in bed with his girlfriend and she was sleeping, and then he just says Patrick quotes to her while she's sleeping, and she it wakes her up every time, and she just starts laughing like without fail. This one was about mayonnaise this morning. I forget what it was. Fuck.
Is
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Is mayonnaise an instrument? Oh my god.
No, Patrick.
So good. Oh, okay, I got what you're saying, man. I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's move on with the news here, because we've just been kind of... Okay.
30 minutes. Jesus.
Yeah.
I'm
been
a
30
I'm a
minutes.
I'm a terrible moderator, if you can't tell. I just get lost. But let's go on to the next news story. I'm going to talk a little bit here to keep it going. There's a big rumor this week. There's a big rumor. And it's about Hideo Kojima, the creator of Metal Gear and Death Stranding. And I think those are the only games he's made. I could be definitely wrong there. But basically, yeah, my Yoshi was not good. 10 out of 10, Patrick? No shot. No shot, that's 10 out of 10. Okay, anyways. So there's rumors right now going around about Hideo Kojima signing on with Xbox to publish his next game. And this is from Jeff Grubb, who's a notable industry insider. And the last thing Jeff Grubb said on the matter, which was yesterday, was that the matter was with the lawyers at this point. So it could be very close to being done here. This could be finalized pretty soon. And this would be pretty big, guys. Like I know that maybe you guys haven't necessarily played a ton of Metal Gear games in the past. I certainly haven't played Death Stranding. But Metal Gear is one of the greatest and most highly acclaimed game franchises of all time. And a lot of the games are certainly movies with many cutscenes. Like I think Metal Gear Solid 4 Guns of the Patriots had like literally like 10 hours of cutscenes or something stupid. But
Amazing.
But they're really good games. They're excellent, top-notch games. And unfortunately, Metal Gear Solid 5 was a bit of a sour note because although the gameplay was top-notch and incredible, the game was kind of forced out too soon, and Hideo Kojima wasn't really able to fulfill his vision. And then, of course, there was that famous breakup with Kojima and Konami, where Kojima ended up leaving Konami and also leaving the rights to Metal Gear. But this can be kind of crazy, guys. Like, I don't think this would be a studio acquisition. I don't think Xbox is going to buy Kojima's studio, and I don't think Kojima's going to do that. I think he's going to stay independent after what happened with Konami. I think he wants to remain kind of independent and in control of his own kind of future, I would say. But this could be just like a one-off game deal, like Death Stranding was for PlayStation, right? Death Stranding's only out on PlayStation. It's also out on PC now, but that game's probably not coming to Xbox at this point. So this would be pretty big. This probably will not be announced until E3, if it does go through. And speaking of E3, that bleeds really nicely into my next story, and that is E3 2021 is actually confirmed. It's going to be all digital, and partners this year include Nintendo, Xbox, and Ubisoft, who will all have their regular conferences, as well as Capcom, Konami, Take-Two Interactive, Warner Bros. Games, and more. Missing from that, obviously, is EA and PlayStation, but they have done their own events outside of E3 in recent years. So it's kind of the usual bunch, minus Bethesda, because Bethesda usually has their own conference, but with Bethesda now being owned by Microsoft, by Xbox, they're probably just going to be either a part of the Xbox show, or B, they'll just have like a Bethesda showcase, but they're not necessarily saying that because it's part of Xbox anyways. So that's what's going on there. Yeah, big rumors here. It's a pretty notable insider. Do you guys care about this much at all, about Metal Gear or anything like that? I'm a Metal Gear fan personally, so I like this news. But Harley, I'll start with you.
I like the new one.
You've
What
paid
was the new one called?
Phantom Pain?
Yeah, Phantom Pain.
Yes. I like that one. That was fun. It was like open world.
Yeah.
I haven't played any other ones though.
That's fair.
So it's like, I don't know. I think it'd be cool. You know, he makes quality games, so
Yeah, very good games.
all to him.
Could be interesting. Jim, what about you?
Mm-hmm.
I know people, they kind of, excuse me. I know people have kind of, called his games kind of weird, let's say, or they're not weird, but they're very much like a Kojima game where he makes games for himself. And I know
Yes.
people felt
Yeah.
that way with Death Stranding, which was, it's like a total 180, I guess, concept wise. I don't know about gameplay, but concept wise and execution wise for compared to Metal Gear, let's say. And I do own Death Stranding on PC, so one of these days when I get around to it, probably if he does get if he does do this deal with Microsoft, I probably would install it to play it just because I'd be excited. I own all the Metal Gear games, so I haven't played all of them, granted either. But from the ones I've played and the little bit I've played of 5, like they're good games. Like he's definitely has his own vision, and I think a unique vision is really important when it comes to games. So, if he does make a game with Microsoft, it's going to be super different. It's going to be super out there, which, maybe Microsoft needs to get, not that they need it, but maybe it'd be kind of cool to have one of those kinds of games because Sony has a lot of those games just because, Kojima was mostly on Sony, right? And now we could have the chance to have our own kind of out there game. That's the way I see it. I don't know. I got a weird perspective on it, I think, but
No,
I think it'd be cool to have like a super weird game.
I think you hit the nail on the head, man. And the beauty of this is that, say Kojima makes this game for Xbox, and it can go on Game Pass, and his weird game can reach so many more people, and that's a good thing because like I bet a lot of people would love to try out Death Stranding at one point. I know I would like to try it. Would I like to pay for it? Not necessarily, but if it's on Game Pass, I'm definitely going to try it. And having Kojima's vision and his crazy, unique ideas come to Game Pass where he can kind of just do whatever he wants and he can have 20 million people try it out, that's good news. So I think it could be almost a match made in heaven for him in a lot of ways where he can kind of be as creative as he wants to be and not necessarily have to worry about the financial side of things.
Yeah, and I doubt Microsoft would be like, "Oh, you can't do this, you can't do that with your game." I think they'd see the opportunity as well to have something really different that could draw some more people in.
Yeah.
Especially PlayStation fans that maybe have an Xbox as well, or they might get an Xbox. Because there's some people that only buy certain consoles for certain games. To put this into perspective, I only bought my PlayStation 4 when I had one just to play Shadow of the Colossus, like the remake. It's the only reason why I really bought it. I mean, I got other games too, but that was the primary reason.
Mm-hmm.
So I could see people maybe buying an Xbox Series S at least, maybe not an X, but a Series S to play Kojima's new game. If it's not going to be on PlayStation, if there's no exclusivity, that's different. But if it's exclusive, that'd be cool.
Well, if it's published by Xbox, it's exclusive. With the exception of it'll probably be on PC as well. So there's always that option. But
yeah,
it's kind of crazy, and that bleeds really well into my last news story. And this kind of came out this morning, came out of nowhere, and this is a report from Bloomberg's Jason Schreier, and it's about the unrest within PlayStation and Sony, as Sony is becoming much more risk-averse in its PS5 strategy and how they make games. Quote, Sony's focus on exclusive blockbusters have come at the expense of niche teams and studios within the PlayStation organization, leading to high turnover and less choice for players. Last week, Sony reorganized the development office in Japan, resulting in mass departures of people who worked on less well-known but acclaimed games such as Gravity Rush and Everybody's Golf. The company has informed developers that, quote, it no longer wants to produce smaller games that are only successful in Japan. And adding on to that story, and the reason this all kind of came to light and why Jason Schreier kind of did a big report on it, was that apparently there is a Last of Us 1 remake floating around right now at Sony. And there was a very small development team working on it, passionately working on it, and they were called Visual Arts Services Group, VASG, if you will. And they've been working on the game for a while. They developed a brand new engine for the original Last of Us. It was going to be made for PS5, all that stuff. They ended up actually being pulled to work on other projects. Sony basically pulled the rug under them. And they really actually helped to ship The Last of Us Part 2. And the remake was eventually pulled back underneath Naughty Dog. And most of the original development team at VASG left at that point because they felt frustrated about Sony's lack of funding and faith on their team, in their team, and in the project itself. And kind of a crazy thing here, and how Sony's starting to become again more risk averse, and with this Last of Us 1 remake. Because guys, the Last of Us only came out 8 years ago, the original one, and it got remastered for the PS4 7 years ago. It got a PS4 Pro upgrade 5 years ago. And it got another performance upgrade only 6 months ago. And now they're completely remaking it again. So they're going back to the well on The Last of Us, and if this is actually the next Last of Us game, that means that the fourth Last of Us game is a remake of the first one, and that the second, and so because basically there's Last of Us Remastered, Last of Us Part 2, and then there's going to be this Last of Us remake, which is kind of weird to me to think about. So they're kind of just going back to the well on The Last of Us because it's so highly acclaimed and they sell really well, and you can't blame them for doing that. But I can think of a lot of different PlayStation franchises that actually deserve this kind of attention more than The Last of Us, and that people would be really happy to get back. Let's talk about some of them. So I think of Sly Cooper. I don't know if you guys remember those games. Sly Cooper, PS2.
Oh, absolutely. I love Sly Cooper.
Sly Cooper's great. Resistance. Resistance was a PS3 franchise. Jack and Daxter, another good one.
Absolutely. Jack and Daxter should have a new game.
Yep. SOCOM. Remember SOCOM? They haven't made a SOCOM in quite some time. Twisted Metal. That's a classic.
There you go.
Killzone. Now, Killzone's a bit newer, but Killzone definitely has its fan base. Legend of Dragoon is another throwback. I don't know if you guys ever played that.
Yeah.
Another great game. Yeah. Another great game. And Siphon Filter, which is another PS1 classic. Those are the ones I kind of those are the games I think about. And instead, Sony's just choosing to go back to the well on The Last of Us over and over and over and over. And kind of to kind of throw on top of the story even more, the Days Gone developer, I don't know if you guys remember the Days Gone game that came out on PlayStation. It was like a post-apocalyptic zombie game. You rode on a motorcycle. Came out a few years ago. Came out to, okay acclaim, like 7s usually, 7s, 6s across the board. But it actually had a pretty passionate fan base and kind of a cult following now. It definitely sold really well too. But and basically, Days Gone developer Sony Bend, they were going to make a sequel for the game. They really believed in the franchise and in the project. But even though the game sold well, Sony basically shut it down. And they were like, "Sorry, this game wasn't good enough. You're not making a sequel." Even though the game has a cult following, even though the game sold really well, despite the critical kind of they're basically like, "Sorry, you're going to work on something much safer than Days Gone." And the best way to kind of summarize this is that Sony seems to be prioritizing big teams with big games above all else, and basically a really heavy focus on its big hitting franchises. And again, that kind of that bleeds really well into I've said bleeds a lot in this episode. This bleeds really well into the Hideo Kojima story, because Death Stranding is a great example of a really weird game that probably sold well enough, but is it a big Sony franchise? No, so they're not going to make another one. And would they fund another Hideo Kojima game at this point when they just only care about really funding their hit franchises, it seems. And Jason Schreier kind of tweeted in front of this as well, kind of after his story went out, and he said, "All the headlines based on my article today will focus on the games, but the real story here is actually the people. The people who tried to start something new at VASG but couldn't, and then just ended up leaving. The people at Sony Bend who left because of the turbulence and unable to basically work on their passion project, and the people who left Sony Japan, the small studios and development teams that were shut down there, and more people involved." So you kind of have these two different stories going on right now, right? Where Xbox seems to be, going all in on just buying studios and funding crazy projects and Game Pass and make whatever game you want, doesn't matter, we'll throw it on Game Pass. We just want the development teams to make what they want to make. And then you have Sony, who's basically at this point going, "Sorry, not safe enough." And that's really interesting, because that was kind of the opposite last generation, where Sony was trying a lot of new things. Horizon Zero Dawn, the Spider-Man games, the God of War remake, they were trying a lot of new things, Death Stranding even. And now they seem to be kind of reversing their strategy, and they're going, "We're only going to focus on our big hitting games at this point." And then Xbox, who were basically the Halo, Gears, and Forza machine at the start of the generation, right? They basically just focused on their big franchises, are now expanding outward. So it's kind of interesting how you have this parallel going on. A lot of words I just said. I know that was a lot. I kind of threw three stories together because I think they all kind of work well together. Jim, do you have any words you want to get in here before the next story?
I just want to say I don't think that The Last of Us should become the new Skyrim, where Skyrim had an absurd amount of versions, and I think they might be getting very close into overkill territory with The Last of Us, because you have the TV show starting to shoot this summer.
Yep.
You have this supposed remake that's being developed. Um,
A remake for a
I
not
think
very
they're-
old game, mind you. That's important.
Yeah, like there's no reason to remake it. Well, let's look at the world of movies for a second. The original Spider-Man movie, directed by Sam Raimi, came out 2002, something like that, and they rebooted it like only 10 years later. So it's for something that was so well known and so revered, and like a lot of people still hold near and dear the original version of, or even let's say the remastered
for
version
the
of The Last
memes.
of Us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I don't know, man. Like I think it's no, sorry for anyone who likes Sony or thinks this is a good idea. I think it's stupid. I kind of like that Xbox has, they're doing these things. It's like it's exciting being an Xbox user, I guess you could say, because
Yeah.
all these new things are coming out, all these new, like one day we have Bethesda, another day, like today, for example, because it was news to me, it's rumored that Hideo Kojima might be working with us. We have Psychonauts 2. Like it's like there's a bunch of new stuff that was like happening with Xbox for the last like couple years or few years. And I think it's wrong for Sony to kind of regress and just focus on the big games. Like they'll sell, don't get me wrong, they'll be big money makers for sure. But I think it's wrong to kind of put yourself in a box like that. You should, like, gaming is, it's all about being outside the box sometimes. And I think they need to be outside the box. Like, I don't want, this is also from an outside perspective, but like with Xbox, I think I wouldn't want like Microsoft to just focus on let's remake Halo CE like from the ground up. Let's remake. I wouldn't want that. I would play it. Don't get me wrong; it'd be kind of cool, but I wouldn't want that. I'd want something new. I'd want a new Halo game. I'd want like a new IP that's exciting. I don't want them to keep going back because, again, PS3 had Last of Us, PS4 had Last of Us, PS5 had Last of Us. I guess technically, if they had that performance upgrade or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I mean, when are they going to stop focusing on? Okay, it's very popular, yeah, but there's more than just The Last of Us. They have, like you said, there's so many other IPs. Like remember, Infamous? Like whatever happened to those games? There should be a new Infamous game instead of a remake. Is it called Infamous? Yeah. Instead of a Last of Us remake, they should try and make PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale, whatever their Smash Bros thing is called. Make that better. They should make a new Jak and Daxter, like you said.
Sly Cooper.
They should be doing.
Like,
yeah, like they have all these franchises that are vacant that really need a new game, and
or make something new.
Yeah, like
yeah,
I don't know. I think it's the wrong move to summarize a long story.
Yeah, I think you're right, Harley. What are your thoughts, man?
I think Jim said it all again.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah,
I talk a lot, man. I know.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair, dude. I think I think it's ultimately if I bet this remake would be cool. It sucks that they're just making Naughty Dog make it rather than this other studio, VASG, this other team. Because like, why couldn't you just fund them more, let them work on it because they actually wanted to work on it? And
are they going to be making something else?
They basically rolled them right into Naughty Dog, and most of them left because they didn't like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, and now Naughty Dog's just remaking The Last of Us Part 1, apparently, supposedly, rather than working on a new Uncharted game, another Last of Us game. I don't know where The Last of Us 2 ends, if you can even do that. I don't know, but there's other, a brand new game. I'm pretty sure Naughty Dog made Jak and Daxter. I'm pretty sure that's one of their games, so they could be making a new one of those. I don't know. It's kind of crazy, and it's interesting because like it's kind of like it's a little bit ironic, I guess, because Naughty Dog was an indie studio that Sony kind of funded way back in the day, and they've turned into basically their biggest studio, and now they're refusing to do the same for other studios. And it's kind of like, well, look what happened to this one. Like, I don't know about you, but like I would love to have a ton of Naughty Dog teams, Yeah,
like, it'd be cool, man.
Like a ton of Naughty Dog-esque caliber teams. So that's all I want to say on the topic there. We'll see what happens, but it seems like every week there's some good news for Xbox and there's some bad news for PlayStation. And it's kind of weird because it is usually the other way around last generation. So either way, good time to be an Xbox fan because we could have a lot of cool games coming. So
yeah,
that's all of my news. That's all I got. I know you guys got some more. But before we get into the news, I just want to let you guys know that Sidney Crosby scored a goal. We're playing the New Jersey Devils tonight, so.
I also want to let you know Harley's PC crashed,
Uh-oh.
so he'll be rejoining us soon.
Okay,
so,
all right. Well, let's get into your news then.
That is a good segment to blow through a quick story.
Yes.
That Deathloop was delayed until September now.
Yeah.
So Deathloop was originally supposed to come out a little earlier. I think it was May 21st, if I'm correct. But now it's been pushed back to September 14th. So, and on Twitter, they put out a statement and they said, oh, there goes Harley. He says, quote, we've made the decision today to, we've made the decision to delay the launch of Deathloop to September 14th, 2021. We're committed to quality and preserving our team's ambitions for Deathloop while ensuring the health and safety of everyone at Arcane. We'll be using this extra time to accomplish our goal, create a fun, stylish, and mind-bending player experience. We apologize for the extended wait and thank you all for your passion and excitement. It is the fuel that powers our creativity and our hard work. We can't wait to show you more Deathloop soon. That came from game director. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but the game director for Deathloop. So it kind of sucks. I mean, I guess it's kind of nice because it's a PlayStation exclusive, so we can't really play it anyway. So I guess it doesn't totally affect. It sucks. I mean, I dare to say heartbreaking delay of Lego Star Wars this year, but I mean, Deathloop looks super cool. I mean, I want to play it. So, if they need more time to polish it up, go for it, man.
And we'll get to play it eventually because it's a Bethesda game. So whenever that timed exclusivity window ends for PlayStation, it'll certainly come to Xbox and right into Game Pass. So just a matter of time for Xbox gamers. But yeah, it does suck. But I think we talked about this a lot on the show. Is that if a game needs to be delayed, delay it. Like, don't put it out too early. So that's fine. And I think that we're going to see a lot more game delays this year with COVID still being definitely a thing in the world where it seems to just continue to. Vaccines are rolling out, and that's great, but it's also getting worse in a lot of areas too. So I think a lot of things are just going to keep getting delayed, unfortunately. So as long as Halo Infinite doesn't get delayed again, I'm okay. Knock on wood.
I think we're in the safe zone for Infinite, but
I think we are too.
Again, you never know.
Yeah, I think we are too.
You never really know.
Yeah.
At least with the multiplayer, the single player could still get delayed because the multiplayer, I'm sure they'll want to push out because it's free to play, and you want as much people playing it as possible as soon as possible, but when it's ready. So.
Yeah, I don't think they'll ship it in different parts at this point, man. I think it's all going to come out at once, and I think that the year delay was certainly gracious, I'll say. I think they gave them a lot of extra time compared to what maybe they needed. Again, we talked about this before, but I'm pretty sure Halo Infinite could have came out in November. It just wouldn't have been as polished as it needed to be. It's content complete, right? Like Joe Staten's played through it a couple times at this point, so it's done. It's just a matter of polishing it up, and giving a whole year of polish for a game is pretty great. So that's, I think that's pretty much all it comes down to. But anyways, enough about Halo. We already got through Halo. I think it might be time for either we can talk about the Diablo 2 technical alpha, Jim, or we can get into Cyberwatch. What do you want to do?
I think I'm going to go into Cyberwatch because I'm very excited to debut this new intro outro. So for those of you watching the show, we seem to talk about Cyberpunk a lot, so we decided to make a segment out of it. So,
wake up, samurai. It's time for this week's Cyberwatch.
So this week's Cyberwatch, there's not a whole lot of news. I had to do a little bit of digging to find this, but people seem to think, and I'm going to make an excuse to play that every week because we're going to have a segment every week.
Yes.
Anyway, because I did reinstall it again after uninstalling it twice in the last week and reinstalling it twice. I got a love-hate thing going on.
Oh my God.
Anyway, it's one of those things where it's like every time I see a piece of news about it or I even think about it, I'm like, damn, man, like I really did have a lot of hope for that game. And now that they're actively improving it, it's a slow burn, but now that they're actively improving it, it's like, hey, like stuff's happening. But anyway, people seem to think that there is a Pan Am Romance DLC that possibly got leaked. So with patch 1.2, There's a hell of a lot of fixes. We talked about this last week, but there was a lot of fixes. Or sorry, well, last week or the week before, but very recently we had a whole episode. Not a whole one, but we had a large chunk where we talked about patch 1.2. So there's a data mine from a data miner on Reddit that a metric ton is the term they used. A lot of romance dialogue for the character Pan Am, who you can romance after you do a few quests.
Yeah, you can.
A lot of romantic dialogue got added. Now, it was possible that the content was cut before, but that wouldn't explain why it got added now. So they're suspicious that, yeah, again, it's not like a big piece of news, but people are suspicious that they're adding DLC specific to romancing her character, which whatever. I mean, whatever makes this game bigger and better, and not even better, just whatever makes it more varied and like as much as they can cram in as possible, because the public opinion is that the game was not complete at release. Let's just get whatever was meant to be in here or whatever's supposed to be in here in there as soon as possible, I guess. I don't know. Again,
Yeah.
it's not a big piece of news, but with that
concludes this week's Cyberwatch. Move along, civilian.
Nice. Before we move on from Cyberpunk real quick, I'll just say that in my playthrough, I did romance Pan Am. There's a weird sex scene. It's pretty weird. I'm not gonna spoil it. But then the way that the kind of, I guess, the story arc with her leaves off, it does kind of imply that something could happen in the future. It kind of leaves it open for, like, I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but so that it almost makes sense that when I saw that you sent this story, and I'm like, oh, that would kind of make sense based on what I've experienced with her. So we'll see what happens.
I haven't romanced her, but I think I got one more quest with her to go before that option opens up, because I've done two with her, 2 or 3. They're all side stuff. They're not pertain to the main story, but
yeah, you could skip Pan Am.
Well, one is.
Yeah, one is
for the main story.
Yeah, one is main story, but then you don't have to do anything else with her. But yeah, no, she's a cool character. I actually like her a lot. But anyways, that's enough of Cyberwatch. I see Harley has joined back. Harley, are you good?
Hey.
Whoa.
Sure.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
You literally sound like Jim Cyberwatch right now.
What?
Your mic's all screwed.
I think you might need to unplug and plug your mic back in. That was funny. I thought he had a voice mod on.
That's what I thought.
Testing.
Okay, no, you're good. You're good. It sounded like you had a voice mod on, man.
This is why I love doing this show live.
This is why we're doing it
Free
live.
voice mod.
Gotta love it.
Well, I paid for the lifetime membership, but it was like super on sale, so I don't regret it at all, man. Anyway, let's roll on to the last story that I have. Do we have any other stories this week before we get into
Harley has a story, I'm pretty sure, right, Harley?
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Sure.
Yeah. Go on.
Oh, you mean like do it?
Do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me just pull that up. I gotta pull everything back up now. Okay.
Stalling.
I got it.
Stalling.
All right.
Okay.
So, have you guys heard of the game called The Day Before?
Vaguely.
No?
Before you mentioned it as one of your stories, I had not.
Okay, so it's a survival MMO, and people are saying that it kind of resembles a cross between, funny enough, The Last of Us and The Division.
Huh.
But it's also compared to DayZ. But yeah, so there was a 13-minute gameplay demo trailer that IGN posted, and it looks pretty cool. It's a game that I'd definitely be interested in buying.
Oh wow!
I put many hours into DayZ, and this game just looks. Ooh, it looks
better than
good.
DayZ.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, not to slam DayZ, but this game looks really nice.
Daisy's jank.
Yeah.
Yeah. Funny enough, though, the Daisy creator, Dean Hall, he also just revealed a new game that his team is making called Icarius. Icarius?
Icarus?
Icarus?
Okay.
Icarus.
Icarus.
There we go. We got there. But it's kind of like a similar game where it's like a survival. This one's like a PvE survival open world game. So
Kind of like
Yeah.
Valheim, then.
yes, it's like future. It's kind of like humans are going out and terraforming alien planets, and it's kind of like I think it's like like the planet's like fighting back or something like that, or you're trying to survive the planet after terraforming has gone wrong or something.
Hmm.
They did a little bit of
Interesting.
the trailer for it looks really nice. Like if you think of Daisy and then you see this, it's like night and day. So I think he's doing really well, and the day before looks really good too.
Cool.
And
Let's check it
it's
out.
only going to be on Steam or PC, I should say.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, that is all for me.
Cool. I'm gonna have to look at the gameplay trailer now. I'm interested.
They
After
they had one before though. I would watch the newer one. The earlier one had I heard other people say this too, that they had like fake like player comms,
Oh,
because it's like it's showing like two people, like it's supposed to be like two players playing it. They had like just kind of like voice lines like dubbed over it to be like pretending that they are playing,
right.
but apparently people didn't like that. But
No,
the new one
that's
doesn't
always
have
lame.
that, so yeah, the new one doesn't have that, and it just looks really good.
I always hate when there's like an E3 demo, and it's like of the Division, for example, because I remember the Division one pretty vividly, and there's a squad of people rolling through the city, and they're acting all tactical and talking to each other. I'm like, man, that doesn't happen. You're with your friends, you're goofing around. Some guy
Yeah.
accidentally
Falling
throws a
asleep
grenade
at
and
the
kills you.
controller.
Yeah, exactly. Like that doesn't. Nobody's that tactical in real life, dude. Like I always hate those gameplay. I'm like, this does not happen. Nobody's doing this. Everyone's being stupid. That's what's happening. But
Yeah.
anyways, yeah, cool. Sounds interesting nonetheless. And I think that brings us into Diablo 2, which is the main topic for today and our last story, right?
Yeah, that's all I got. I don't know if you guys had anything else you wanted to quickly mention before we go into this.
The
Anything?
Penguins won 6-4 against the New Jersey Devils. So
Valheim.
what about it?
Someone got killed by a gray dwarf in Valheim. So his response was to chop down the entire forest around it.
Oh,
He sent a screenshot. He's like, "My friend got killed by a gray dwarf in the Black Forest." He sent them a message back. He just got like a screenshot of him looking over this just like deforest area. I
Yeah,
love that game.
I love Valheim too. It's a good time.
It is good. I'll give it that.
No, I love it.
like romantically.
I love it.
No, I don't think you understand. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Diablo 2. Resurrected. Jim, take her away.
So the big news, the biggest news I saw today was that the technical alpha for Diablo 2 Resurrected started today. So the only way to get in was through an invite from Blizzard. And I'm skeptical about this, but it was apparently all random and it was done in waves throughout the day, starting at, well, it'll be 10 a.m. our time, at 7 a.m. Pacific time. I unfortunately did not get an invite. I opted in with 2 different emails and I did not get it. But regardless, I don't think the second email would have even worked because it's connected to your Blizzard account. Regardless, I didn't get a chance to play it, obviously. The gameplay you're seeing on screen is Diablo 3, but I did watch quite a bit of footage from it. And I will say, as a person who's been playing Diablo 2 on and off for like 20 years. Probably more than that, maybe like 21. Let's say I'll be gracious, but for like 20 years, I could not be happier with what I saw. They implemented some things. Like the one thing I noticed that I don't remember it being in the original game. It's been like a good year or two since I've played the original Diablo 2, but I don't remember being able to zoom right in on your character like you could in Diablo 3, but you can do that now. And they have the thing that MCC does, and I'm sure other remasters, but the one that comes to mind is, well, I guess it first started with Halo Anniversary, but MCC, where you can flick back and forth with the push of a button, and it's like perfectly seamless going back and forth between the old and the new graphics. There's updated animations. The lighting engine is awesome from the looks of it, and just everything just looks really, really, really nice. Um, and it makes me think that I really hope, and I was telling you this before, Tony, but I'll tell you too now, Harley. I hope when it comes out, it's supposed to be this year. They don't have a release date really, but when it comes out this year, I hope we do get to play it because I know we tried playing Diablo 3, and Diablo 3, comparatively speaking,
Oh, I did.
is a super easy game. Diablo
Oh
3
yeah,
is
I beat it
super easy. And the thing is,
100%.
like I'm playing it on hard right now. I didn't want to go on normal. I think on the gameplay footage I might have been on normal, but I upped it to hard pretty soon after recording this, if not during recording this actually. But you can't start on normal. If you've been playing Diablo or even any game like this, you should just start on hard or even arguably nightmare, even though it might be a little much at first. But regardless, the big thing that is special about Diablo 2, and again, there's not a whole lot to talk about with the technical alpha. It's just, people got invites. People were free to record, stream as much as they want of it. There's going to be another test this year at some point, and the technical alpha is only single player. It's only the first two acts because you don't want to give them the whole game, but it's only the first two acts. And you can only play as a few different classes. You can only play as if I remember correctly, the sorceress, the Amazon, and the barbarian, who people say looks like Dave Bautista, which I find kind of funny. But there'll be another chance for people to play it later on in the year. It's only on PC. It's not on console. Um, yeah, and it looks awesome. Like I'm sad I didn't get an invite, but it looks incredible. Like I can't wait to, I guess, try the second test because it'll be multiplayer the second time around. So I mean, we could technically get a chance to play it if they opt everybody in. But regardless, there is the biggest differences between like Diablo 3 and 2 is like Diablo 2 is not. I don't want to say it's not an easy game because once you start getting charms and all that, you'll obviously get buffed up a little, but it definitely doesn't hold your hand. Like Diablo 3, I've played quite a bit of it the last couple weeks, and like the further I get along, like I'm in Act 2 right now, and I think I'm like almost level 40, which is redonk. Usually when I was playing Diablo 2 when I was younger, I would get to like Act 4 and like level 40 if I didn't grind that much. So there's just a lot more like the one big thing, for example, I didn't mean for this to turn into like a talking topic, but the one main thing that I equate to Diablo 3 is there's really two. So between Diablo 3, you have I don't know if you remember very vividly, Tony, but Harley, you might remember better. You can cast a town portal whenever you want. It's just like a skill you have, and you have unlimited ones. There's a cooldown, whatever. And with
Mhm.
health potions, you can use a potion whenever you want, and then it recharges after 30 seconds. But in Diablo 2, and this is also 12 or 13 years of game design evolution, but in Diablo 2 you have to use potions manually. There's a stamina bar. There's little stuff like that, like there's no dodge. I know on console for Diablo 3 they added like a dodge roll. There's obviously none of that. The game is just a lot more like you have to put in all it's a more skill-based game than Diablo 3 is. Like, for example, with the skill tree in Diablo 3, you unlock like every skill and then you just kind of assign what you want. But with 2, it's a whole skill tree. It's kind of like any other, older RPG. You kind of put your points to whatever skills you want, and then based on that, you can get different kinds of characters and blah blah blah. I feel like this is turning into like a nothing point. I feel like we've been going on too long as it is. Are you guys excited at all to try Diablo 2 in any capacity, whether it be console or we to go on PC? Like I pre-bought it on PC, but knowing me, there's a good chance if and when I get a Series X, I will probably get it on that too, I'd imagine. Um, Tony, let's start with you because I don't know how much experience you have with Diablo in general, but are you excited at all to try Diablo 2? Like, did it ever tickle your fancy, growing up or anything like that? Or is this just another game coming out?
So I never played Diablo 2. Actually, no, that's not true. I played a little bit. Um, Diablo 3 is the game I've played the most in the franchise. I got it when it came out on PC back in the day, and then it wasn't working, so I kind of just, when it first came out, I don't know if you guys remember that, the game just basically, all the servers were down. So that kind of turned me off of it, and then I played it a little bit on Xbox. I have the Ultimate Edition now. I've been meaning to go through it. It's on my hit list to actually beat. But I am excited for Diablo 2. I think, Jim, what you said it hits the nail on the head. From what I understand, Diablo 2 is a much more hardcore, traditional RPG experience compared to Diablo 3, which is more like an action game in a lot of ways. So yeah. I'm excited to. I think I am gonna get it at some point. Now, if I get it on PC or Series X, we'll see. But I don't know if I'll get it right away. I think I will get it. At some point though. I'm pretty excited for it.
The best way I can compare the two, because I don't know, Harley, if you've played any Diablo 2, but the best way to compare the two is it's almost like, and I'm gonna sound stupid for a second, but hear me out. It's kind of like comparing Halo 3 to Halo 5, or even Halo 2 to Halo 5, let's say. So like with Diablo 3, for example, the art style of the game, and again, it's also because graphics evolved, but the art style and the feeling of it kind of changed to a more cleaner look. Almost, I don't want to say it looks closer to WoW, but it almost kind of feels closer to that universe than Diablo. Whereas Diablo 2, again, like you just said, it's more of a hardcore experience, and it's a lot more skill based. It's not as clean. It's not. It doesn't hold your hand. Like, for example, I know with a lot of newer games, RPGs and MMOs and all that, you have your mini map and you have your quest tracker and quests you're on, what step you're on, blah blah blah. With Diablo 2, there's no go here on your mini map. You kind of have to go out and you have to, based on the info you're given with each quest. Like, you can hit on the old one, if you hit Q, you can see what quest you're on, what you have to do, but it doesn't say go here on the mini map. You kind of have to, like, for the first quest, for example, you have to clear the Den of Evil. So you go out, there's like the first area after you go from the rogue encampment, which is like the first town you start in. You have to pretty well walk around until you find the Den of Evil. Like, there's no little blip. Like, I know Diablo 3, they kind of have that where you might have a quest and you have to wander around an area, but if you wander around long enough, it'll eventually just kind of tell you where to go.
Yeah.
But again, it's not a bad thing. There's times in Diablo 2, even as a kid, like you get lost not quite a bit. I'm stupid when I play it, granted, but there's sometimes you'll wander around, you won't even realize you're not supposed to be in a certain area yet, especially a little later on in Act 1. You can kind of wander around and accidentally find another quest. Anyway, regardless, Harley, are you excited at all for Diablo 2 Resurrected?
Do they say the price point?
I don't think it'll be full price, because when I was on battle.net, I had purchased a bundle that included Diablo 3's Eternal Collection and Diablo 2 Resurrected, and that was $70.
I think it's 40 or 50, Harley, to answer your question.
Yeah,
I don't think it's full price.
It's not gonna be full price.
Okay.
It shouldn't be either. Even though I'm a hardcore fan of this game, I would be kind of mad if it was $80. But regardless,
Harley. I think Blizzard has been pretty decent with that kind of pricing. Like the Warcraft 3 Reforged, I think was 30 or something.
Even the WoW expansions aren't full price. They're like 55 in Canada.
No.
So there's that.
Was StarCraft Remastered full price when that came out? That
Couldn't tell you.
Probably not.
Couldn't tell you, but probably not.
Because Warcraft has those tiers. The more you want, the more you pay.
Yeah.
If you just want the basic version, you don't really care about any special exclusive or little add-ons, then you just buy the base. I think that's nice. Am I excited for Diablo 2? I think it's cool. When I was playing Diablo 3, I really got into the the universe or the world. I remember when we were playing, like we were talking about like the books. Like I have like 2 of the Codex books. The Book of Cain and the Book of Adria.
Yeah. And then there's the Book of Tyrael, which I have all
I didn't
3.
get that
Book of Adrian.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
Hey, yo, Adrian.
I got into it pretty hard, but I guess after I stopped playing, I kind of like fell out.
So maybe this will pull you back in.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see.
And I know
We'll
hype's
see
like
what
a dangerous
games come
thing,
out at the
man.
time.
Yeah, and like that, and I have 2 worry points as well. Like one, it has to do with you guys, and one has to do with the actual game. So with the actual game, I mean, look what they promised with
Oh,
Warcraft
okay.
3, and then look what ended up happening. Supposedly, I don't have any first-hand experience, but look what happened with the blowout of what they said they were going to do and what actually happened with Warcraft 3
Yeah.
Reforged. Now it's a little different because I've watched, and it's only technical alpha, so the game's not 100% done, I guess. But from what I saw from the alpha, like it's pretty faithful to the original while updating the visuals like significantly. And my other worry, and I think the game will be good personally, just from what I've seen so far. Things can change drastically between now and when it releases, which again, there's no concrete release date. It's just 2021. But my other worry, and I don't know if it's happened before, it probably has, but I think with any other game, this would be the one I'd worry about. Is I don't want to hype something up too much with you guys because we all have different tastes in games. I mean, we all love Call of Duty now, anyway, like with Warzone and all that. We all love our battle royales. We all love our, I guess, our Valheims now. We all love our Phasmophobias. But the problem is, I'm the only one that really has like, you know, months and years of experience with a game where obviously I'm going to love it if it's my favorite game of all time on the right days out of that of Halo 3, but 9 times out of 10 it's usually Diablo 2. But it's like with this game, I always talk about loving so much and how much it's awesome. Like I don't want you guys to get it. It's kind of like with one of our friends in G Fuel. We talked up G Fuel enough, and it was kind of like, oh shit, like he didn't really like it. And it's like, damn man, like I don't want it to be like, like, oh my god, Diablo 2's out and like we're gonna play it and like obviously I'm gonna be over the moon. But then if we play it and you guys are like, like it's not that good or blah blah blah. I think that would totally crush me. But yeah, so those are the only 2 like real worries I have with it.
I think you're about to say something. One of the things I think that would be a selling point for me. This is a selling point for most games for me nowadays. Is if I'm gonna be playing with someone else. I think like I don't really buy too many games that are just for me anymore. Baldur's Gate 3 was one of them. But like Phasmophobia was to play with you guys. COD was to play with you guys. I can't remember. Is Diablo 3 is not on Game Pass for console, is it?
No,
it's not.
Was it
So
at one point though?
It might have been
I
at one
don't
point,
know.
yeah.
I feel
I
like
don't really
everything's been through
remember
Game
the
Pass.
history of that, but it was to like play with. I think it was to play with you, Jim, because
Yeah.
you were talking about it, and then we got Tony into it, kind of. But yeah, I think what would probably get me to get it would be like to play with friends.
And I guess the good thing with that is, well, both you guys know I'm gonna play it. Like once it comes out, let me like say goodbye to Xbox for a bit. But well, unless I get an Xbox, then it's different. But
Have they confirmed crossplay with console?
crossplay and cross progression.
Okay, so that's good. So you can be on PC and I could play it on my Xbox because my PC is a pile of garbage.
What?
What?
I bet you could run that.
Oh, I'm sure I could, but I'd rather just play it on the Series X at this point. My Series X is much more powerful than the PC.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
I'd probably get it for PC.
Yeah.
We could always the original Diablo 2 and the expansion, if you buy them together.
No.
How about this? No, listen. If we even just get the original Diablo 2, it's $10 on the Blizzard store. you could always see if you even have any interest in the game before I end up, inevitably gifting it to the both of you. Because like I told you, Tony, if it's out before Christmas, and Harley, goes for you too, there's a good chance you're going to be getting something in your stocking that rhymes with Diablo 2. That didn't go well.
No,
yeah,
Diablo 3.
That rhymes with Diablo 3. Yeah.
You know what? And I'm gonna skip my final thoughts here for Diablo because this can kind of roll into the last segment, which I think I'll introduce today. What we're excited to play. I would be down for Diablo 3 if we didn't want to play Valheim, which it seems like impossible with at least you two. But if we didn't want to play Valheim one night, or we didn't want to play COD, or we didn't want to do this, like I'd be down to just go around and loot shit with you guys. But what am I excited to play this week? I mean, it's an easy answer. I just want to play more Diablo 3. It's as much as I said, it's a hand-holding game. It's it's a little too easy compared to Diablo 2. It's more for newcomers of this kind of game or Diablo and blah blah blah. I'm still loving it, man. Like well, I mean, as evidence, I've only been playing Diablo 3 really intently the last week. Like I've sunk probably like 10 hours in. So I mean, like I'm putting a lot of time into it for a reason, and I love it. So there you go, Tony. What are you excited to play?
Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm down to play Diablo 3. It's on my hit list, so I got to beat it at some point. So, yeah, whenever you guys are down, I am down to play as well. But I'm excited to keep playing through MCC, keep playing through the Halo campaigns. I'm excited to play with my friends this weekend, whether it's Valheim with you guys or COD with you guys or really anything with you guys. I'm just really glad it's Friday and that it's the weekend because this week was busy and it sucked, and I'm just looking forward to that. And lastly, I'm excited to... I forgot my point. Oh yes, lastly, I'm excited to play NHL 21. That's coming to Game Pass next week. So I'm going to start an NHL franchise on stream. I'm going to start with the Pittsburgh Penguins, and I'm going to literally blow up the team. I'm going to trade Sidney Crosby. I'm going to trade Evgeny Malkin. I'm going to trade everybody for draft picks, and we're going to start fresh with the Penguins. And I'm going to make it so I can't be fired, because otherwise they would just fire me. But yeah, I'm literally going to blow up the team. Yeah, you can get fired in GM mode, which is funny. You can literally get fired. Yeah, so I'm gonna turn that off because you can.
Is that just game over?
No. So then you become like a free agent GM and you can get picked up by another team.
Oh.
But
okay.
Yeah, it's. I'm gonna turn off firing for obvious reasons. I'm gonna trade away literally everybody, and we're gonna start from scratch. So that'll be fun. And it's gonna feel sacrilege just to trade Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin and the boys, but. I thought that would be a fun thing to do on stream because we're going to be able to get a lot of draft picks for him. So that's what I'm going to do next week. I think that maybe comes out tomorrow on Game Pass. I forget. It's either tomorrow or it might be Monday. I forget, but it's pretty soon from now. So yeah, Matt Kleiss is on the trading block.
Sidney Crosby. There you go. That's the name I recognize.
Okay. All right, Harley. What about you, man?
Oh, I forgot a game. I'll talk after you, but I forgot a game I was going to mention.
Yeah, go ahead. Mine's same old. Valheim, Phasmophobia, and
we should do that.
League of Legends.
Actually, I don't know. Tomorrow night, maybe.
And
or one
in
day.
the future of April, Devour.
Oh yeah, the Devour update.
That's right.
Right.
Whenever that comes out.
2 weeks from... I think it was 2 weeks from Wednesday. Whatever the 21st is.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's the 21st. Yeah.
Oh,
so
fuck.
I forgot to mention this.
Pokemon Snap's coming out at the end of the month, too. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh my God. Here we go. Let's do it, the Pokemon. Anyway, we can't get through an episode without talking about Halo. Apparently not talking about Cyberpunk and talking about Pokemans. So anyway.
Pokemon, not Pokemans, but okay, continue. I know what you're going to say. You're excited to play Kingdom Hearts, aren't you? I knew it.
I'm excited to
Kingdom
buy
Hearts
it and then delete it so that I don't have to play it. Just to burn you. So regardless,
Jim, I got to share a Pow Pow fruit with you, and then I'll change your mind.
Oh, I hope so. You know what? If you can change my mind, I'm open to anything. How about this? If you can change my mind about Kingdom Hearts, I will buy Diablo 2 for both of you.
Oh no.
I mean, it was probably going to happen anyway, but now it'd be like...
I maintain that Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of the greatest RPGs ever made, but continue.
So here's my dilemma. I'm getting more into Diablo 3. I'm kind of getting more into that style of game, let's say, but I also kind of want to start fresh on Xbox because I've been kind of neglecting Xbox. I started playing Wolfenstein, and then that's around when I started playing Diablo 3 again. So I mean, that's been taking up all my time, and I don't want to go through Wolfenstein in sections like I did with the other ones. I want to just kind of do it all in one go. But I don't really want to play a shooter right now as a single player game. So I think what I'm going to do, starting probably some point this weekend, if not during the week. And I don't think you guys will suspect this at all, which is kind of nice. But I
Disco
kind of want to
Elysium.
no. Well, what that'd be pretty cool too. But anyway, I want to start playing Dragon's Dogma, specifically the Xbox One re-release with all the DLC. It's called Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon. Seeing screenshots for that game, because I bought it when it was on that crazy sale. It was like super cheap, but it looks really cool, and I really wanted to play it. So I think I'm gonna actually, because that's gonna take a while to finish too. I think I'm gonna dive into that one day. It was either that or the first Witcher game on PC because I want to go through all three of them. But I think I'm
Oh,
going to
that's
do
a
Dragon's
series.
Dogma first.
Oh man.
So
That's gonna be some time.
Yeah, that's
all,
some time for
all
sure.
these games I want to play are it's going to take forever. And actually, this brings me to my second mention I forgot to mention. So once I'm done Diablo 3, um, I'm going to go back and forth in my head whether or not I want to go to Torchlight 2 because I had beaten the first one. And from the second one, from what I've read and seen, apparently it's a lot closer to Diablo 2. Because in Torchlight 1, it's just like it's a lot like the first Diablo. You have in the first Diablo, you had Tristram, and then you went into the cathedral, and then you essentially just go down endless dungeons, and that's kind of your levels. It's just all the dungeon levels. There's no, this town, that town. It's just kind of like one environment, I guess you could say, with endless dungeons, which is what Torchlight 1 was. But apparently, Torchlight 2 is different locations. You go through the world, blah blah, like Diablo 2. So I'd want to do that because I'm kind of on that roll right now. Um, it's either that or I start playing Path of Exile because I guess to kind of sneak in a news story at the end. This week we got a more concrete look at Path of Exile 2, and the gameplay looks incredible. So I watched GameSpot's video on it. It's like a 20-minute with a little bit of narration, not like a fake Let's Play narration, but just like overviewing what's happening. And it looks super awesome. So that kind of got me excited to try the first one because the first one, again, kind of like Torchlight 2, I hear is like the spiritual successor to Diablo 2 in tone and in gameplay and all that. Because Torchlight's a little more, it's a different, distinct art style. It's a little
Right.
more cartoony is the wrong way to put it, but cartoony, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go back and forth which one I want to play on PC anyway. Because console, it's already solidified. I think I'm going to do Dragon's Dogma. But with PC, I'm still going back and forth which one I want to play next. So yeah, that's my. Oh my god, I talk a lot. That's my dilemma.
That's why we do a podcast, sir. That's why we do a podcast.
And we said we were going to be an hour today. We should just stop saying that. We're just going to like come on and talk, and whatever happens, happens.
You know what? We ended up talking about Sidney Crosby and Matt Kleiss for half an hour, so that's on you guys. But all right, listen.
What are you talking about? We didn't bring that up.
Yeah, who the hell is Sidney Crosby?
Okay. Anyways, then with that, let's send her home, Harley. Get it going.
Yep, we're heading home. It's the end.
It's the end.
That's a shame. I bet you want to watch another one though. Maybe go to the backlog. 21 episodes. Got lots back there. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
If you also think it was pretty cool, why don't you subscribe?
Yeah.
Give us a like.
Oh yeah.
Because those are always good.
Those are good.
It's great to see that.
We love to see it.
Yeah, we love to see it. Our socials are in the description.
Sure are.
But what about Tony?
You guys can follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/figure09, and on Twitter @figure09TV. Streaming a few nights a week. I'd love to see you there.
Oh, but hey, what about Jim?
Anyway, you can you search Power Grudge on Steam, on GOG Galaxy, on what's the other one I'm on? Epic Games Launcher, on Xbox, even on Battle.net. I don't know what it's like a numbers name, but I'm like everywhere. Yeah. If I remember, I'll share my Battle.net thing too. But yeah, if you search my name on various platforms, you'll find me.
Nice.
Very good.
I don't like
Very
to be
good.
specific. I'm realizing from week to week, but I'll be more specific next week.
It's fine. Doesn't
What do you
matter.
mean?
Well, because I just said, like, if you search anywhere for me, you'll generally find me, which isn't really true. You can't find me on the New York Post. You can't find me
The
on
New York Post?
You don't
What?
know. You don't know that.
See? I'm not on there.
You could be.
Well,
I mean-
maybe, I
Next
don't know.
sponsor.
Oh my god! You know what? We wouldn't even have to work another day in our life if they sponsored us.
I'm pretty sure that's not
Nick's,
true.
We'd be working the rest of our lives. They've sponsored us, but we're not talking about them today. So,
I mean, you literally just did.
I
But okay.
broke my promise
Yeah,
from the
you
one
absolutely
I went
broke
to.
the promise. Oh no. Okay, I'm
Have a
gonna
good cup, though.
I'm setting this train out of the station. It's
Oh.
time to go. It's time to go.
Choo choo.
Choo choo, motherfuckers. Thank you for
All aboard.
And get some fudge.
That's right. Call the judge and get some fudge. That's right. And
Bye, everybody.
goodbye, everybody. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend.
Bye. Have a good one.